Dr. Nikki Zeigler. I'm the founder of the Herpreneur Network. I am also the founder of the Life Coaching Colleges, the Institute of Allow You to Teach Public Speaking, business coach, branding coach, what else? Grieving coach, master coach. I'm also the publisher of the HBCU magazine. Go ahead and tag, like, and share. Tag, like, and share. And let me know exactly what city you are watching from. Tag some friends. Hey, Dr. Nikki's on With the Convo with Dr. Nikki Zeigler. And so I'm excited to have some amazing people. We're going all over the country with this book tour, and we're featuring authors all over the world. We done been to Dubai. Yesterday we went to Chicago. Now we're back here going to Detroit, and it's going to be amazing. So if you are an author and you're looking to get published, looking to get featured, you need visibility. You need to come on the Convo with Dr. Nikki Zeigler. We're in several countries around the world. So enough about me. You're not here for me, right? You're here to hang out with a new author. Her name is Dr. Keisha Allen. The doc is in. Come on, Doc. How are you?
How are you, Dr. Nikki? Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your platform.
Happy to have you. Let's talk book. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about you. Tell the people, number one, who you are, where you're from, and let's talk about the name of this good book I just saw.
Okay, so a little bit about me is, here is my 30-second elevator speech about me. People oftentimes ask me, who are you and what do you do? And my response is, I get the opportunity to transform lives by helping them to transform relationships with themselves and with others. So that's who I am. That's what I do. And as far as my book is concerned, I have a book out. It's called Engaged: 9 Key Principles to Activate Your Life. And Dr. Nikki, what it's really about is, how do you not die in the process?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, we go through the process, life happens, but how do you not die in the process? And probably one of the most shocking things about the book that people have told me about is the story I tell about my mom.
Okay.
And my mom, when I was coming up, she was a drug addict. She was just out there in the streets, cocaine, crack, whatever it was, you name it, she did it. And I remember when I walked into the bathroom one night after she came home, I was so happy to see her because I hadn't seen her for weeks. And I walked into the bathroom and she had a rubber tied around her arm, sticking a needle in her arm. And I remember just sitting there watching this woman who I knew was my mother, but she seemed lifeless to me. And I remember sitting in her lap, wrapping her arms around me just to feel her presence. And when I woke up that morning, she was gone. But I have a mother who did not die in the process, Dr. Nikki. I have a mother who went through rehab 5 times, and it was the 6th time that she finally did it again, that she stayed clean. And she became just a mighty social worker, doing work all across the country in terms of helping people who were both addicted and abused to drugs. And so that's what the book is about. Not necessarily about my mother, but about how we don't die in the process. Whatever that process for you, don't die in it.
Wow, that is an amazing story. So your mom gave you the strength to write this book. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Well, there were several people who gave me strength to
Come on,
write the book.
about the strength today.
Yeah, several people who gave me strength to write the book. My mother, I do talk about her in the book, but it was actually my father's definition of engagement that really launched this process for me. So I've been married now for 22 years to a wonderful and amazing husband, but it was 23 years ago that he proposed to me. And I remember my father came to see me. My father, by the way, also an engaged person, coming out of Jackson State Maximum Security Prison and now pastoring in South Carolina. Just powerful testimony. But 23 years ago, he came to me after my husband proposed to me, and he asked me this question, Dr. Nikki. He said, do you even know what it means to be engaged?
Wow.
And I remember I gave him whatever answer I gave him at the time. And the response that he gave me was, engage means to be willing to enter into the war for the promise that's offered on the other side. He said, you don't get to just be one. You got to work at it. And so what I realized was that the marriage was not, or the proposal was not the engagement, the marriage was. And so what I do in the book is I use the principle of engagement entering into the war for the promise that's offered on the other side to apply in whatever aspect of life the reader is going through at the time. So
Wow.
whether it's dealing with going through a relationship and the relationship doesn't seem like it's going well, whether it deals with you trying to discover who you are and find out your purpose, whether or not it deals with you being on a job and you're not being satisfied, how do you engage? What are the principles of engagement that get you to the other side?
Wow. So my question to you, what would you tell someone who want to write a book, who have a story? What kind of advice would you give to an inspired author?
Well, two things. The first one is number one, just start. And by starting, what I mean is whether or not that means you buy yourself a recorder and you just start talking about what you want to talk about in this book. I mean, you can extract it later and put it on paper. Or whether or not you do what we learned in school, which is just do a free write. It doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be organized. Just sit down and write it. And then
Mm,
after you do that process, you can go back and kind of tease it out as you will and come up with the product that you're looking for. But as far as those who are looking to get into writing a book, whatever you do,
wow,
start. Just
that's right.
start.
That's a good advice. And I often say that, as a publisher, I publish books. I often say, just put the pen on paper and
Mhm.
write.
Absolutely.
Wherever it takes you is where you're supposed to be. I'll come around, get our editor, and let her work some magic and put it to the test. But in the meantime, you gotta start writing. And I think for me, the purpose of me doing this book tour was to meet people like you that can inspire
Yeah.
us to just do it. Just do
Yeah.
it. Just do it.
Absolutely.
Because lives supposed to be changed if you just do it.
Yeah. I
Just
get the opportunity. What I do in my work is I'm the CEO of an organization that's called BFDI Training Institute. And so I get the opportunity to travel the country doing professional development trainings in restorative practice, restorative justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I get the opportunity to meet people all across our great country who are asking the same question. And maybe it's not necessarily about a book, but maybe it has to do with their purpose, or
mm,
maybe it has to do with the dream that they had that they've let go of. How do I get started, or how do I get that dream back? What is the road that I'm supposed to get on? It's so easy for us, Dr. Nikki, to get into the rat race, right?
mm,
Once life starts happening, we start that day-to-day grind, that day-to-day job, and before you know it, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years are up and gone, and
right.
you're looking back like, I didn't do any of the things that I thought I was supposed to do. Whether it's write the book, whether it's start the restaurant, whether it's start the ministry, whatever it is that God has equipped you to be and do, He's already given you and pre-wired you with the tools that you need to make it happen.
Mm,
All He's waiting for is a yes
yes.
and a movement. Yes and move.
Move forward. Move
Yes.
forward.
And even
Move.
if you fail moving forward, and that's what I talk about in the book, even if you fail moving forward, fail forward. Even if
Good.
you fall and even if you make mistakes, it's a mistake that's worth making because now you're smarter. As Marvin Sapp would say, you're wiser, you're better. And so as you're moving along this trajectory of how do I get started, engage, enter into
Wow.
the war for the promise that's offered on the other side. And the promise is different for different people. For you,
Mhm.
Dr. Nikki, it is being a worldwide global brand that gets the opportunity to go throughout not just the states, but the country, right?
Mhm.
It's helping other people to publish their books. For somebody else, maybe it's not as grand, but it's still as significant.
That's it.
Being a teacher in the school, serving on a police force, whatever it is that you're called to do, engage in the process to do it.
Wow. So let's talk about the book. How can we find this book? Where are you located for them to get a copy of the book? And how much does the book cost?
Yeah. So the book can be found in two places. The first one is my website, which is www.keishaallen.com. Keisha.com. That's Keisha Allen with one A in the middle. So KeishaAllen. So the book can be purchased directly from my website. The other place where it can be purchased is from Amazon. If you go to Amazon and you put in the title of the book and or my name, the book will come up and you can find it from there. The soft cover is $20 and the hard cover is $25.
Wow. Well, I'm so excited to have you on the show today. So tell the people what's next for Dr. Keisha Allen. What's next?
Yeah, I tell people all the time that engage people, the seconds matter, the minutes matter, the hours matter. It's not about the next week or the next month. It is really in the minutes and the seconds. And so, what's next for me is I'm on a tour that's doing trainings across the country for both my book and restorative practices. I just came from Wichita, Kansas, Chicago. I was in East Orange, New Jersey. So we are just up and going. In addition to that, I get the opportunity to speak across our great country as it relates to ministry. So I have several of those engagements and dates that are coming up. And as a sidebar, let me say this. Not only am I engaged in the purpose that God has called me to, but I have a family that is very much engaged. I have a beautiful 6-year-old daughter who is coming out with her second song tomorrow. So
Oh,
yeah, she's releasing her song tomorrow. It's called Super BFF. I wish I could have played it for you, but you can find it on um, platforms everywhere: Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, wherever you go, you can find her. Her name is Kendall Allen.
oh,
Kendall Allen. So please make sure that you look her up. And I have a husband who is also very engaged. He's a Grammy Award winning music producer. And he just had a song that he just released not too long ago called We Go Hard. He's in partnership with Jay Moss. But in addition to that, he's working on some television shows and some movies. And so I'm just proud of both of them. So
oh.
there's a lot going on in the Allen household and a lot going on for us. And that's what I want for your viewers and your listeners, not necessarily to be busy, because busyness is not an indication of a person fulfilling their purpose, but to be fruitful in
That's
what it is that you're called to be, and to be fruitful in what it is that you're called to do.
well, we appreciate you for stopping through on the Convo with Dr. Nikki Zeigler. You're welcome to come back anytime. And
Thank
next time we
you.
want that baby to come and sing on the show, we would love to have her on the show. Um,
Yay.
give her more reviews. So we would love to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Guys, don't forget, this is Dr. Keisha N. Allen. Listen, go get the book. I know it's going to be powerful. And let her know, hey, Dr. Nikki told me to come and get your book, because that's what we're all about: collaboration, trumpet competition every day, 24
Yeah.
hours a day, 6 days a week. Amen.
Amen.
Well, good to see you, girl. Talk to you soon,
Glad
guys.
to see you too.
See you on the next tour. Take
Yes,
care.
ma'am.